morning and welcome back to Hot and Spicy Guyana. I hope you all have been doing well. I just want to say thank you to my existing subscribers and welcome to all of you who are new. Today on Hot and Spicy Guyana, I'm bringing to you my version of barbecue pork ribs. We're going to put some Guyanese twist on it. So follow along and join me for a simple and awesome recipe, guys. Let's get into the ingredients. Here I have 1 rack of pork ribs, which I've gone ahead and just cut it into 2 just because it makes it more manageable for me. I have honey, some Korean BBQ sauce, some red wine vinegar. I also have some barbecue sauce, some ketchup, salt to taste, and as you know, my go-to all-purpose seasoning and chicken seasoning, mustard, some dried thyme, chili flakes, onion and garlic, which I've gone ahead and grated, freshly chopped and grated. I also have some green onions. Now I've also gone ahead and washed my rib already with lime and lemon. Now I'm just going to season this and get this ready. Now guys, when you're making this rib, just make sure you take this membrane out, because that way it's going to make your rib tastes really good when you're seasoning it up. You want to make sure you just get this little fine membrane like this and just continue pulling until you get all of it out. I've already gone ahead and lifted part of it up so you guys can see what it looks like, but yeah, it's quite simple and easy when you're taking it up. It may be a little bit hard at first when you're trying to get it up, but as long as you do, from there, it becomes very simple and easy. Now I'm just going to cut this up and then I'm going to season and get started so you guys can see the next step. I like cutting my ribs up just because it gives it, it makes it more easier for me to handle, and I love making it on the stove first, then putting it on the grill. That way it gets that nice caramelized texture. For this one, guys, I'm going to add my chopped onion and garlic on here and rub this in really well. You want to make sure that you're generous with the seasoning, because for a big chunk of meat like this you need a lot of seasoning, but not too much because you don't want to overpower the flavors. So I'm just going to do this on both sides, and then I'm going to add some of my other dry seasonings and I'm going to continue cutting up. So follow along so you can create this wonderful recipe at home as well. You want to make sure you get all in the creases and the bones and everything. You can do this from the night before, but I just prefer to do it on the same day, guys. It doesn't matter. Some people think when you do it the night before it gets to marinate really well. I also believe that, but I didn't have the time to do it the night before, so I'm just going to do it on the day of. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just putting in the garlic, the chopped garlic and onions that I've grated. And I'm just making sure that it's evenly distributed everywhere. And I'm gonna try and just use this all up. I like grating my onions and garlic because I find it gives the meat a really nice flavor. Now we're gonna go in with some all-purpose seasoning. And chicken seasoning as well. I'm just going to continue rubbing this in, guys, on both sides, so that you get all of that goodness in your meat. Make sure you check down in the description box below, because I'm going to be linking the measurements exactly how much of whatever you need. If you have other seasonings in your fridge, you can use that as well. You don't have to use the all-purpose seasoning. That's just my go-to seasoning that I like using. You can substitute with any other seasonings that you like. And that's the thing about meat. Like, you don't have to stick to one seasoning. You can use a variation of whatever you like. You can also put this in a bag and season it so that you get everything evenly distributed. But I just like using my hands, guys. Ooh, look at that. Now I'm going to add my mustard. And my dried thyme. And we're just going to continue rubbing this in. Now I'm going to continue over the other side. And I'm also going to add some chili flakes to this and salt to taste. After doing that, I'm just going to continue rubbing it in, and then I'm going to get my stove ready and my pot, bringing it up to a heat, and then putting this on. Adding the chili flakes just gives it that kick and a notch of spiciness. So now that this is done, I'm going to cut this up and get ready for cooking on the stove. guys, because this is a lot of ribs and I don't have a big enough pan, I'm just going to be doing this in sets of 2. So what I'm doing now, I've added some pan spray to my pan. You can add oil if you want. I'm just using pan spray as a preference choice. And I'm just going to fry this in until it becomes nice and brown. And then I'm going to continue adding my other ingredients and let that cook and caramelize so you guys can see. So we're just going to let this cook until it's brown, and then we're going to flip on the other side, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys the next step. Now, as you can see, this is the color that I was going for. I just like frying it in the pan and then adding the other ingredients because I find this way it's more caramelized and you get that nice brown flavor as opposed to putting it in the oven straight away. It just seems to have like it's boiling or steaming, and I don't like that, so that's why I do it this way. Now I'm just going to add some red wine vinegar just to give it that vinegary taste. And just remember that I will put the description in the description box, will have direct measurements so you guys can look in there. I'm going to add some of my Korean barbecue sauce. So it gives it that sweet flavor. And continue cooking. And also I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of honey. I know people like adding brown sugar as well, but I just like adding honey, guys. It's just a preference. You can also use brown sugar if you want. Now we're just gonna let that continue cooking and caramelize and let all of that good flavor get soaked in, and then I'm going to show you guys the next step. At this point you can also taste your sauce to see if it's spicy enough for you or if it needs more ingredients or more seasoning. Whatever you like, you can add it at this point. I'm just going to let this cook and caramelize, guys, and then we're gonna get ready for the grill. So now look at this, guys. This is what you're looking for. The caramelized color and the vinegar and everything that's at the bottom, that's going to keep this really moist. Now I'm just going to add some green onions, and then I'm just going to let this cook for a little bit more, and then we're going to add it to the grill. So you get that nice flavor going there with it. As you can see, guys, this is now done. I'm just going to mix some of this barbecue sauce and ketchup together, and then I'm going to place my ribs on the grill and let it go on there for 15 minutes, basting it with this mixture while it's on there. I'm just going to mix this in. You don't need too much because you've already added some barbecue sauce, some Korean barbecue sauce, so you don't need to put too much of this in. Now I'm just going to add this on the grill, and I'm going to baste it with some of my sauce and let this go for about 15 minutes. I'm going to flip and then baste again, and then after 15 minutes on here, we're going to take it off. So So guys, this is what my ribs looks like after it's done. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe and can make it one of your own. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below and let me know how you make your ribs as well. Now I'm going to dig into this and give this a taste and let you guys know how it turned out. It is so good. Until next time, bye!